All right, welcome to a walkthrough of the Coachmen Crossfit 2018. Gonna go around the exterior of the vehicle first and then go inside for a tour. So starting from the back of the van, we got double opening doors here, which will lock into place if you push them all the way open. All right, and in the back you've got a variety of tools and equipment that are helpful for your trip. Got a sewer connection line, looks like a 45-degree elbow. Got a scrub brush, tire repair kit. I believe this is an emergency kit of sorts. Got a emergency triangle. Got your water connection hose. This can be used for both city water and for filling your freshwater tank. In this bag you've got jumper cables, an emergency flashlight, a life straw, all your emergency necessities for trouble on the road. Looks like you got a ratchet in there too, as well as a bungee cord. And down below we've got a extra towel. Use for whatever you need there. And a bucket full of goodies here. Looks like everything from tape to zip ties, anything if you need something after it's broken, it's a good place to check. The bucket behind that looks like you've got some miscellaneous parts. Don't think you'll need anything from here, but there are some extra goodies if you need some sort of connection. All right, now I've got a channel that's going to be used for your sewer drain line. You want to make sure that the sewer drain line gradually slopes down towards the hole that you're trying to drain into. Here it looks like we got a dog lead, water filtration kit, and a weighted bag. Behind that you've got your leveling blocks for leveling the RV once you find a parking spot. To the right we've got our electric plug for your campsite connection, and above it you got your adapters for the different types of plugins, and that's going to round up what's in the back. All right, so rounding up, there's your back. Left door closes first and then the right. Here's what you got in the rear of the vehicle. All right, so here are your water connections. If you're going to be connected to city water and using that to operate your entire setup, you're going to plug into this connection. To refill the freshwater tank, which should be full upon your departure, you plug into this one. And then to flush the gray water tank, which may or may not need to be done at the end of your trip, if you use a lot of water, you should be okay there. If you use the toilet, then you may need to do a little extra flush. And then we've got our cable coaxial connection there. All right, this is where you're going to plug in for your power connection. This is going to be your hookup from the rear. We'll show you how to use that in a little bit. Take a look at the spray port over here. There you can connect a hose that sprays from inside the van water. You can use that for your cleaning. All right, on the bottom side here, this is your sewer drain line. This is going to drain both the gray tank and the black tank. And these handles here are valve handles that you can use to switch up the valves. That's defined in the user guide. You can find exactly what needs to happen to operate those valves. Now we got our driver's side door. In order to get to the gas cap, pull open that driver's side door, and then you've got a little cubby here to get to the gas tank. So you'll just fill up your gas right there, capless. Just a good look at the dusty front of the vehicle. All right, coming around to the right side, inside your passenger door. You should pull this out. This is going to be where you can find your jack as well as your lug wrench. There you go. Okie dokie. So anything else that you need should be in the design manual. Sorry, the user manual. There is an outlet plug here if you want to plug in some accessories outside. And then up underneath the vehicle, you can find your spare tire Instructions on how to get that down are also in the user guide. Looks like we kind of walked past the propane fill. So this is the propane fill section. Propane should be full. If you don't know how to use this panel, just ask somebody at a propane fill station on how to operate it. But like I said, should be full upon your departure. All right, let's take a look at the inside of the van. One more thing to note about the exterior is this door is a little bit hard to close. So what I like to do is pull on the handle with my right hand and kind of guide it with my left hand on this side. And I'll see if I can get a visual on how I do that. Pull with the right hand and push with the left hand. And really lean into it as it closes. If you don't, it'll close soft and leave a gap here. So if this isn't flush with the rear of the vehicle, you know you haven't done it quite correctly. All right, let's go ahead and get hooked up to our power source and show you exactly how the inside works. All right, so I know I'm going to be plugging into a 120 volt plug, so I'm going to take this wall adapter, and then we're going to need our cord from the bottom here. And we're going to find our external power source plug-in, plug it on in. Now once you plug it in, just give this ring a couple twists until it's about hand tight. Don't need to do too much to hold that in place. And now you've got power. Okay, back to the inside of the van. So upon entering the van, you've got your toilet straight ahead, and you've got your faucet / shower head. It extends up to the shower head there for your showers. When you're using the shower, make sure you close the curtain, otherwise water will come flying out of this gap here. First things first, we're going to go ahead and get this power started and get the van running for you. All right, so once you're inside, you'll find your genset control panel. In the bottom right, got a battery disconnect button. So I'm going to go ahead and press that up and connect to our shore power by turning that button on. Inside the van, you've got 3 different control panels. The one on the far left controls the temperature of the van if you're using it for heating. It controls the water temperature. It controls the type of fuel being used. And then it controls your fan level for your AC unit. So a lot of control comes out of this, mostly connected to the propane system. All right, to the right of that, you've got your genset control panel. So this node here helps hook up power to docking station, then flip battery disconnect switch to the up position. Then all interior lights will come on. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So you press your battery switch up, and then down here, the light panel will now work. So we can turn on all the lights that we want for now. And you can turn them off by hitting the all lights button. So you can just have them kind of set to go on and off all at once if you hit that switch. So then we'll start back at the bottom left. So the awning power needs to be on in order to run the awning extension, which I'll go ahead and get started. So you press and hold that button, and then whenever you release the button, the awning will stop. I'll go ahead and get that open. And then to the left of that, you've got your awning light. Press that up once. And your awning lights will come on, which can also be controlled in here. And then one to the right of that, you've got your water pump. So that water pump is now on. All right, now when you rent the van, this is where you can see how much is left in each tank. So this is going to be starting with your propane. This is your battery level. How much is in the freshwater tank, how much is in the black water tank, and how much is in the gray water tank. So it looks like the gray water tank is currently empty. Now, if you need to use the generator, all you got to do is just follow this protocol. So you prime it by pressing down and holding for a couple seconds. And then once the light turns orange, then you just hit start. And as you can hopefully hear, that's fired up our generator. Now once you've gotten the power that you need out of your generator, time to cut it off. All you got to do is hit the bottom side of that switch to cut it. This is the solar control panel. There shouldn't be much that you need to do with this. This tells you your battery usage. as well as the solar energy being produced. A couple ways to use the stove. First off, open the lid. This is not a cook surface, so don't use it as such. And what you got to do is turn the knob of the lighter. Turn this knob to light mode, and then press and hold. You'll get some propane coming out. Might need to let it warm up for a second, but it is on, and it does produce quite a bit of heat for the size there. Okay, same thing for the other burner. This is your sink. So once the water pump is on, your sinks will be functional. Look out as you open this one. This is kind of silly how they've got it routed, but you have to open the sink without turning on the water faucet on accident. So it's kind of a fun game to play. So once you get your faucet in the right position, left water is going to be your hot water, and then right's going to be cool water. And that will drain. And then when you're done with the sink, make sure you just close that back up. All right, so above the sink, you've got a bunch of plastic cups, some plastic silverware. Got all your cooking utensils, knives, silverware in here. And there's gonna be some playing cards for your use. Next drawer down, we've got all our pots and pans. Coffee maker. And then this one's empty, so you can use it for storage. Under here, we've got our trash can and a Keurig. This is your in-unit mini fridge and freezer. Note that I've got this closed right here. You should do this while you're driving to keep food from flying out. And you press down, kind of lift on your handle, and that'll open the fridge. It's best to leave it at about midway, a little over midway, somewhere around a 4, a little bit above is fine. Keeps it at the right temperature without the freezer getting too much humidity going and freezing up or causing issues. Same thing with the bottom. Get your handle here. Just make sure that this is closed while driving. Up above, we've got our microwave and convection oven. Make sure that you're plugged into shore power while using this, or you've got the generator running. This one eats up quite a bit of energy, so just be wary of that. And that'll pretty much complete our tour of the kitchen. And then in this cabinet, we've got paper plates, plastic bowls, and then some nicer drinking ware and a tablecloth. All right, it is nice and warm in here, so we're gonna get some air going. What you wanna do to operate this guy is start with the knob on the, I guess the back right, as you're looking back at the back of the van. And then to open up the actual cover of this thing, you're gonna wanna just flip the switch and it'll automatically turn until the cover's lifted. And then as the cover's lifting, once it lifts, you can press the fan on button and that'll get your vent fan going. All right, behind it, we've got our Dometic AC unit. So on this one, all you gotta do is just twist the knob. Then you can set your temperature. Let's continue with the rear of the vehicle. Next to the microwave, you've got some storage spots. Nice to put some clothes in there. Up above, you've got an empty storage space. And then you do have your bedding there. And more storage space for now. In the back here, you've got your kitchenette, seating area, and then this is what folds out into the bed. I'm gonna see if I can position this camera in such a way to show you, but what happens is the table comes out and the tabletops are used to bridge the gap between the seats, and the pads from the chairs just slide in to become a bed. To operate the windows, you gotta pinch these to release the window and then push it out to open it. To close it, there's a close lever right here. You just pull on that and pull it back until you hear a click in the back. Otherwise, they'll always be a little bit cracked open. So pinch it, open it. There you go. Now you cannot get out of the back of the rear vehicle because of the way that the tools in the back are set up. Again, in the rear, you've got another control panel here. These will control some of the lights in the back of the bus. Also got charging center and some wall plugs. We've got some camping chairs in here as well as a shoe cubby. And typically there will be a step stool underneath that mat. And here's an extra step stool for you. Now we're looking back towards the cockpit. I'll show you guys what's up there. So it looks like this is a swivel seat. Unfortunately, because it has the handbrake, this will it will not rotate all the way around. So they just put a lock on your lever there, so that will not work. And up in the glove box is where you've got all of your user manuals, as well as a manual for the chassis of the vehicle. But all your manuals will be in here. These are extremely helpful resources. Recommend that you read through at least the 2018 Coachmen CrossFit user manual and take a look at the sections that I've highlighted in here. Hopefully by the time you're renting this, I've got a better book for you. But on page 4, you'll find some key systems that I think it's worth just reading over real quick when you get the van checked out. Now, operating the van is pretty much just like driving a standard vehicle. All you got to do is get it started. Up here, you've got a Kenwood entertainment system. To control the volume, it's going to be these 2 buttons on the left and right. And then to turn it on, you might have to hit your home button. I think it's good to power this down when you're done driving, because it will stay on if you want it to, but it just kind of drains battery, and usually you don't need it. You can control playing music through here though, so if you can get your phone connected either via the plug-in or the aux down here, then you can use it to play your music while you're hanging out. It's pretty nice. Just a few things to note about driving. Can't really see out of the rear, so you've got like 2-3 ways to see out of the car: your left, front, and right side of the car. And it's kind of hard to see blind spots. There are many of them. It helps to keep the window open in the back so you can see at least out of the side on the right a little bit further. Other than that, just realize that you're driving a very large vehicle, and it's really easy to take a turn too sharp and clip the back wheel and send everything flying in the back, or just have a bumpy ride. So be extra cautious as you drive this thing. One side note about using the awning: if you're going to be using the awning, make sure you leave this awning power on when the awning's extended. It has an auto shut-off feature where if it gets too windy, it'll automatically retract, and when that awning power is off, that function doesn't work. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing pulled back in. We're done with it for the day. You're going to press and hold on the awning retract button. Once you hear it get started, you can release it, and it'll automatically pull itself back in. Now that I've shown you what I need to show you on the tour, I'm going to go ahead and shut this guy down. So this is what you need to do when you're getting ready to leave. Turn off your water pump, turn off your awning power, and then go ahead and hit your battery disconnect. Once you hit that disconnect, everything else in the cabin will shut down. Lights don't work. And then over here, this control panel will stay on after you've left. So just note that you're going to be consuming propane if you're on the road. Again, this is the interior of your van. Use this dial to go set the minimum temperature you'd like. If you're going to be staying out where it's going to be nice and cold, you can set this, rotate it to the temperature that you want to use, and click on it to lock that temperature in. If you change it and then don't press the button to lock it and hit return, it will not change. It will stay at that 62 that we set it at. This is your water temperature settings. So eco is going to set it to about, I think it's 116, and then hot's going to set your water temperature to about 140. This is better for your overall power consumption. If you need really hot water, you can turn it to hot, and then boost will superheat it. So this will get it up to temperature quickly. So if we wanted it to just be eco warm, which is usually plenty warm for washing hands and doing dishes, click on eco. So now we've got it on at the top, you can see. Back. This icon determines where you're pulling from. So if you're going to be using propane, have it set to the gas function. Mix 1 is going to be a little bit of help from your electric. Mix 2 is more help from your electric, and then you can go all electric. So if you're plugged in at a RV spot with a electric bay, if you're going to be running all gas, just set it to that setting there. You can click it, turn it on. Then this is your fan setting. So eco Obviously going to be a little less energy consumption than high, and then high you can really get the fan moving back there on the AC unit. And these panels in the back are used to monitor your energy consumption and your battery production, sorry, your solar production. So that's what the top panel is, and then the bottom is to monitor your energy consumption whenever the battery is connected. All right, so there you go. I think I might have missed a couple steps. If I did, you can either find those in the user guides or reach out to me. By this point, if you're watching this video, you should have my contact info. And make sure you have fun out there. Yahoo!